Good evening, viewers, and welcome to Cleveland TV. My name is Olamide Fawaimi, and I'm going to be your host for tonight. And then, for more information and inquiry, kindly please log on to www.clevelandtv.com. With me, I have a special guest for tonight on today's interview. He's a physician, and his name is Dr. Olowu Sunday. Good evening, Dr. Sunday Olowu. Can you please introduce yourself to viewers?
Yeah, good evening, viewers. My name is Dr. Sunday Olowu. I was born in Ondo State, specifically Okitipupa local government. And I had my medical education, my primary degree in Nigeria before I left Nigeria in 1996. Yeah. So I left Nigeria in 1996. I went to South Africa. I was in South Africa. I had my postgraduate degree in South Africa. I worked and I was there for about 14 years before I moved to Canada. So right now, I'm a physician in Canada.
Thank you so much, Dr. Olowu. Dr. Olowu, we'll be looking at some important topics that I'd want you to, enlighten our viewers today on some issues. Dr. Sunday Olowu, can you please tell us what is the impact of Yorubas in Canada?
Hmm. Yeah, that's a very, very good question. You know, Yorubas generally, they are marvelous, loving people all over the world. And everywhere they go, they do so well. They perform wonders. The only place they are not doing so well is in that place they call Nigeria. So even when I was in South Africa, they were doing marvelously well. Well, even in UK, if you go to Australia, I have a lot of colleagues that are doing so well in Australia. In the United States, they are doing marvelously well. In Canada, Yorubas are everywhere. Professional Yorubas, doctors, engineers, administrators, even some of them are even in politics. They do so well wherever they are. So I'm happy, I'm proud to be a Yoruba man in Canada here because most places you go, even as competitive as some of their colleges are here, the few Black people you see there, most of them are Yorubas and Igbos. Those are the people that you see are excelling outside the soil of the Nigeria.
For that wonderful insight. I have another question for you, Dr. Sunday Olowu. Can you please tell our viewers how is Canadian society and the attitude of Canada on Canadians on migrants?
Yeah. Generally, Canadians are very loving, welcoming people. To the immigrants, they are welcoming. As long as you are here, you are doing your legitimate jobs, you are not into the other vices that people back home are doing, you are welcomed here. People will like you, people will love you, people will celebrate you as long as you are doing your job and you are not into evil things that a lot of people are doing back home. So generally, Canadians are welcoming. I've been to very many countries in the world. I would say Canada is one of the loving, peaceful place for immigrants.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow, wow. That's interesting. That is great. That is very interesting. Okay. Um, Another question for you, sir. What professional sphere do Yorubas engage in um, in Canada?
Everywhere, all sectors of economy in Canada, Yorubas here. Accounting, they're here. It's difficult to get into nursing, Yorubas are here. Because for immigrants to get into nursing here is a lot of work. But you see Yoruba women and even men there. Doctors, physicians, specialists, they are here. Engineering, they are all over the places. So Yorubas are all over. As a matter of fact, the wave of Yoruba coming in now is actually more, because when we came in here, there were not so many Yorubas here. But right now, there are Yorubas all over the places in Canada, and they are doing wonderful jobs, contributing to the economy right here in Canada.
Okay, Doctor, if I may get you right, you mentioned something and said the Yorubas are, it's kind of difficult for the Yorubas to get into nursing. Can you please explain why? Why is it so?
It's not only the Yoruba, generally for the immigrants to get into nursing here, the requirement or the certification is a lot. Because for the fact that you have your nursing degree from Nigeria and you move in here, you are not recognized. So a lot of them, some of them will have to go back to school and retrain all over again. Some of them will go into, I'm talking of the real nursing program. I'm not talking of the healthcare aid or health assistance, but the real nursing program, if you're coming in from Nigeria here, is very, very tough for you to get in. I would say it's almost impossible for you to get in. You have to be very lucky for you to get into nursing profession here as an immigrant. But you get into other healthcare, like you can get into what they call nursing care, healthcare aid, long-term care, medical office assistance. You might be able to get into that. But getting into nursing on its own, because nursing profession here is a well-paid profession. So for you to get in, it's actually difficult for them to recognize Nigerian qualifications. Not only even in nursing, even in medicine. For you to get into medicine is very, very tough here. You've seen a lot, I do see a lot of Nigerians who are specialists back home in Nigeria, the Yorubas and the Igbos. They're here, they've been here for about 10, 15 years. Unfortunately, some of them will not be able to get licensed or to practice medicine here. So it's actually very tough for you to get into those professions. Canada has been strict for foreign qualification for a very long time. Generally, the countries they do accept in, if you're from United States, you can get in. If from UK, you can get in. From Australia, the only country they tend to take regularly those days is South Africa in Africa. Most other countries in Africa, they don't take them. Yeah, you can still get in from Nigeria as a doctor, but it's a little bit difficult. There are a lot of assessments you have to go through before you can get in.
Okay, if I may get you right, are you saying that if you have a nursing qualification here in South Africa, you are eligible to get a work as a
Yes,
nurse in Canada?
yes, you can get in. If you are from South Africa, I think South Africa is the only country recognized that can come in directly to work as a nurse here and as a doctor here in Africa. Yeah, South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, they take South African qualifications. The South African
Oh,
doctors and nurses are well trained anyway, because I work with them. In fact, some of the skills you see in South Africa, you don't even see in this part of the world. Then I don't know how it is now because I left South Africa a long time ago, because we understand that the standard of training is going down. But then, as at the time we left, they were coming to South Africa to recruit us. They were begging us to come to Canada to work then. And I still see some South African doctors around here. So I still want to believe it's still like that. Same thing for nursing.
wow.
But for
Wow.
Nigerians,
Yeah.
is tough. Very, very tough for Nigerians.
Mm,
I
mm.
mean, for Nigerian trained professionals, doctors and nurses, it's very tough. It's not straightforward.
Mm.
Yeah, the roads are not very smooth at all for them to get into getting licensed. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Okay, I have another question for you, sir. What can Yorubas in Canada do to improve the way that they are perceived or accommodated by the Canadian society?
Well, the Canadian society will accommodate you as long as you are doing your legitimate job. Is a society that will accommodate. You do see a little bit of racism here and there, not as pronounced, but generally, if you're into your profession, they accommodate you. They treat you well. That's what they do here. The racism here is not as pronounced as people wants to make it be. As long as you are doing your legitimate job, that's the key thing. Because we do have some of our people back home from Africa, especially Nigeria, who are into crime and into fraudulent activities. Those ones, they face the law from time to time here, because their law here will catch you. There's, no matter how smart you are, whatever you are doing, if you are doing illegal thing, one day you're going to be caught and they will deal with you. Yeah.
Mm. Oh, okay, okay, sir. So, what advice would you give to Yorubas that may be interested in relocating to Canada?
Yeah, I would really encourage them to come in. That's my strong advice, especially for the younger ones that are ready to struggle.
Mm,
Yeah, I mean, you should be ready to struggle, because it's not going to be easy when you come in initially. Yeah, you
mhm,
come in and you, whatever profession you are ready to pursue, you should be ready to take the time. For example,
mm,
if you're into IT, that's
mm,
computer science engineering, that's a very good thing. I will encourage people back home that if you are in Nigeria, you had an engineering degree or you have computer degree, and you are still in your 20s and 30s, you can come over here. You can get in quickly, and you can make a lot of good living. The only problem is, you see, that visa application processes that we do have in Canada here, the one that is very easy now is the one they call the permanent resident. And a lot of
okay.
Nigerians, yeah, a lot of Yorubas are taking that opportunity. So if you do apply for permanent resident and you get in, it's easy for you. Apart from that,
And
if you do want to study here, because education for immigrants is very expensive, very, very, very expensive. Some of them are actually paying as much as $50,000 per session.
wow.
Yeah, that's the tuition. So if you are from Africa or you're from Nigeria or you're a Yoruba person that want to come in here, if your parents
Yeah.
are not very rich, it might be
Mm,
tough. It might be very tough. So what I encourage some people is that if you can be patient and have your degree and you can
mm,
come for postgraduate degree here, it's easier for you. Because when you get in here and you are doing your master's or you are doing your PhD, you have access to work. So while you are
mm,
working, you might be able to supplement your income and you can do part-time job until you get entrenched into the system.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Doctor, for that wonderful insight. Okay, let's quickly divert and look into the Yoruba nation. You know, quite for some times now, we have our Yoruba brothers and sisters who has been demanding for their own dominion as Yorubas and trying to separate from their from the country Nigeria. You know, because of the atrocities that has been happening. Okay, can you please tell us, um, looking at the atrocities about Nigerians and how to get your nation, what are your vision and the mission for this Yoruba nation?
Uh, if you look at, you see, the Nigerian foundation is fraudulent.
Mm,
That country, that name called Nigeria is a fraud. That name Nigeria is a fraud, is a big fraud. From the time that country was amalgamated together, there has never been peace.
mm,
Even the founding fathers, they appreciated it and they said, we are not one. As a matter of fact, the Amadu Bellos, they didn't want to be part of Nigeria. They said Nigeria was a British invention, that British have been trying for centuries or for decades to make Nigeria work, to work in their own interest, not in the interest of the people that are there. So we need to establish that is not a country. It was, you see, when it was formed, they call it Royal, it was a trading post. They call it Royal Niger Company. And you have the southern Nigeria, you have the northern Nigeria amalgamated together in 1914. Amalgamated for who? For the British people. It's for their own convenience. for ease of administration, that was why it was amalgamated together. And since we have started, even when we got independent, it's been war, killing and killing and killing. Now, back to your question. Do we want to continue like this? Do we want to be killing one another forever? You see, we have to understand that the Yorubas are one people. The Igbos are one people. The Fulani, the Hausas, you see, we can never be one. We can't be, there's nothing anybody can do about that, except we want to continue to kill and kill and kill. So what we need to do, we need to make our people understand that we don't want to live like this forever. Even countries that are peaceful, if you look at UK, Scotland, there is no war there, they still want to live because they are different people. I have opportunities of seeing some people coming from Europe. In fact, I was on my patient I saw one day. She said I should complete a form for her. Why was because I used to call her a British woman. I said, no, don't call me a British. I said, what do you mean? You are not a British. I'm a Scottish. I'm not British. So you can see that even in them, they still have very cordial relationship. There is no fight. I'm going to give you instances where you will hate being Nigerian. Well, even when I was in South Africa those days, there were some doctors that were supposed to go on a conference. I think that would be around 2005, 2004 in Europe.
That's it.
Yeah. So we were about 20 doctors from South Africa who were leaving for a conference. Most of them were white Afrikaners, the South Africans. But I was the only Nigerian. I was the only Nigerian carrying Nigerian passports amongst them. Because then I still used to love Nigeria. I was stubborn about saying I'm a Nigerian. I didn't want to lose Nigerian passport. I didn't know how useless that name was then. So we wanted to pass an immigration in Europe. There was a colleague from DRC Congo.
Yeah.
There was another colleague from Kenya.
Okay.
You won't believe it. At immigration, everybody was passed without any problem. I was the only one. They said I should stand somewhere. I stood there. So my colleagues, about 20 of us, they were waiting for me. 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours.
That's so embarrassing. That's so embarrassing.
Those guys were embarrassed and they were saying, what is going on? Is this guy having drugs on him? Before I was allowed to go, I was there for 3 hours.
Wow.
So when I returned back to South Africa, I didn't have a choice than to change the passport immediately.
Wow.
Even then, I was still hopeful of Nigeria. I was traveling over the world. So there was a visit. My children were born in South Africa. So they were holding South African passport. As at that time, my wife was a permanent resident.
Okay.
We went to America, went to the US.
So you married to South African or you married to a Nigerian?
I married to a Nigerian, yeah. Nigerian,
okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we went to the US. So we were returning back to South Africa. The flight was supposed to, we got to London in the morning. That's the Heathrow. And the plane that will be going back to South Africa will not be leaving until late in the evening. So we could not wait at the airport. We were just thinking, okay, let's get into London City and just relax a little bit.
Yeah.
While we were passing immigration again, I was carrying South African passport. They stamped me. They stamped my children. They said my wife could not go in because she was carrying a Nigerian passport. And my wife had genuine UK passport and visa. They said she could not go in. I said, what's going on? After argument, I said, we're going to South Africa. We just wanted to go to London, to just have a little bit of shopping. And we'll return the same day. The guy said, no, your wife will not go in. I said, why? He said, a lot of Nigerians, when they got into London, they will not return. I said, no, we are going to South Africa. You'll be surprised that guy was actually having Nigerian name, the immigration officer in London.
Wow.
He was having. When I look at him, I said, but why are you treating us like this? What's your problem? Eventually, the guy just laughed. He said, look, uncle, you guys are having all this passport. Why did you allow madam to be having Nigerian passport?
Mm.
He said this passport is passport of sinners. Now, when you're here at the Heathrow, when they see you, they will count you as a sinner. So you have
Oh,
to
shit.
prove that you are not a sinner.
Mm.
So it's been like that forever. So the only way we can have peace, real peace in Nigeria, is for every nation, because we are not one nation. They lied to us for a very long time. Even when we were in school, they were telling us one nation, one destiny. We are not one nation. We can't be one nation. So the earlier our people understand this, the better for everybody. Because the big problem we still have back home is the so-called the so-called elites in Yoruba land, because they are benefiting from the Nigerian system.
Mm.
Yeah, they still want to hold to that Nigeria because they are benefiting from it. They are stealing. I had reason to engage with some of Yoruba governors one day. There was one guy I was asking him, I said, look, you are a governor in Yoruba land, but you don't have power. He said, what am I going to do? I said, they are killing your people every day. You can't do anything about it. The only power you have as a governor in Yoruba state is to steal money and is to oppress your people. That's the
Mm.
only power our governors are having. They have power to steal money. The Fulani will allow them to steal money, and the Fulani will allow them to oppress their own people. But when it comes to critical decision about Nigeria, it's the Fulani that call the shots.
Mm.
They can't do anything. So do we want to continue as slaves forever? Because they are slaves. They have money, of course, because they are stealing money. They do have money, but they are slaves in Nigeria, because when it comes to the real Nigerian project, the people calling the shots are the Fulanis. And the examples are banned everywhere. The Fulani will say, this is what we want to do. Everybody will keep quiet, they will do it. When the Igbo say they want to do this, they start killing them. When the Yorubas say they want to do this, they start killing them. It's only Fulani has got a right to do anything they can do in that country they call Nigeria, unfortunately. Look at what is going on in the country now. The Fulanis, terrorists, they are everywhere, killing, maiming. It's so bad in Yoruba land that our parents, our children could not even go to farms again. Killing them, raping them, doing everything for them. And these Fulani people are not arrested. Some of them are even arrested. The power will come from Abuja. That guy must be let go. And there's nothing anybody can do about that. They tried to have Amotekun in Ondo State. Akeredolu wanted to arm those guys. The Fulani said, no, you can't do anything about that. And Akeredolu kept quiet. There's nothing he could do. But look at them in Kano. They have what they call Hisba police. They are armed. They are so powerful that they arrest police, they arrest military people, and nobody can do anything about that. So what are you saying? Are we citizens or we are slaves in that country?
Mm.
So that's the problem. So our people need to wake up. I'm talking of the Yoruba elites, because some of them you engage with them and say, no, you can make this country work. I say, how? We are not one. Our worldviews are totally different. Our cultures, they are different. Our way of reasoning, they are different.
Mm. Mm.
So anybody thinking that Nigeria is going to work is just hoping that they continue to kill the Yorubas and Igbos forever. For me, and for now, I don't want to be called a Nigerian. I say I'm a Yoruba 100%. I'm not a Nigerian because I don't want to have anything to do with our country named Nigeria again. Yeah, I'm not a Nigerian. I'm a Yoruba man from somewhere in West Africa. I think that's more dignified than calling yourself a Nigerian, unfortunately. Because anywhere in the world, when you say you're Nigerian, you're in trouble. I'm sure you know that in South Africa, because when we were in South Africa those days, initially, those guys were accommodating. They got to a
Yeah.
stage where they don't want to see Nigerians again. Start killing Nigerian, attacking Nigerian shops and all that. Although those Nigerians, they caused some of the problems too, because I realized a lot of our guys were doing crime in South Africa those days.
Yeah.
Because when we
True
got to
that.
South Africa, when we got to South Africa those days, those guys were friendly. They were very friendly. It was later they turned against us because of the evils some of our people are doing.
Mm. 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 Thank you so much, Doctor. Like you mentioned something, difference in culture.
Yeah.
Don't you think the problem of our dear country, Nigeria, is not just the people in power, not just the people in government, but tribalism. What can you say to that?
Okay. You see, these are the things the leaders have been using for a very long time. The British is one tribe.
Mm.
Do you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. They are having peace because most of the nations, the so-called nations in Europe, they are only one tribe.
Mm.
They are only one tribe. When you have one tribe and you have one culture and you have one way of thinking, one way of doing things, you tend to have more peace. This tribalism we are talking about in Nigeria is going to be there. There's nothing anybody can do about that because we are not one. If you are not one, nobody can force us together. Let me ask you a question. If you look at Buhari as a Fulani person, if Fulani or the Fulani have gotten their own country, do you think the Buhari will become their president? If he has become their president,
I
yes,
doubt it,
there's
but
a reason.
possibly he can still be their president.
If he has been their president and that these evils are going on, they will have removed him. If it has been one country, Fulani country, the reason why the Fulanis are supporting Buhari is because Buhari is their own man. And they are thinking, if we don't support Buhari, the next person is Oshibanjo. So it's going to go to a Yoruba person. They don't want that. When Jonathan was there, as brilliant as Niger Delta people are, there is no way Jonathan will have become president amongst them if it has been a Ijaw nation. The one that is very clear is Yoruba land. Obasanjo became Nigerian president, not because the Yorubas are interested in Obasanjo. The Ganifa Ibins of this world, they fought against it.
Yeah.
Yorubas were never, Abeokuta people were never interested in Obasanjo. But the Fulani people said, no, this is who we want. And they put him there. So that's the problem of the nation called Nigeria. So you're going to be seeing that tribalism forever. If today Obi gets there, the Yorubas will be crying. The House of Fulani will be crying. If Tinubu gets there, it's going to be the same thing. So why do we want to continue like this forever? Why don't we? Benin Republic, what's the population? About 20 million. It's not even up to the population of Lagos. And they are doing better in terms of human development indices than us. They are doing far, far better than us. We don't need to say, we can't come together. There's no way we can do that. So my own personal conviction is we've gotten to a time that country has to be broken. Let me tell you, in Canada here, we have what they call provinces. That's the way they govern themselves here. Provincial governments. We have about 10 provinces in Canada and maybe 3 territories. You will not believe each of those provinces is like a country. It's like we have 10 countries in Canada because each of those provinces, they are independent. When I got here, I was shocked. If you are a teacher in one province, like I'm in Alberta, I work in Alberta here as a physician. If you want to go to another province, you don't have a license to work there. You have to go and get a license to work in that province, another province within Canada.
Wow.
If you're an engineer, I'm telling you, that's why they're having peace here. If you are an engineer or a lawyer and you are working in Ontario province and you want to move to British Columbia, you need to get a license there. So it's like we're having 10 countries in Canada. The same thing in United States. You see New York, their laws are totally different from laws of New Jersey. Side by side, New York, if you want to go to California, it's another country. They govern, they have their own resources, they have their own police, they have everything. That's US is like you're having 53 states there. You will see if you remember when Donald Trump was there, Mayor of Washington was a black woman. She was so powerful that she said, this road, we're going to name it after that guy that was killed. And that was the road to the White House. And Donald Trump had no power to do anything about that. That's how a country is governed. And now go to the UK people that cause this British that cause problem for us. In Britain, that they call you have United Kingdom, you have the British the Scottish, the West, and all that. All these people, they govern themselves. They have their own central banks. They have their own securities. They have their own parliament. The same UK, they don't want us to have that in Nigeria. Are we slaves? We are not slaves. Are we going to remain like that forever? So when I argue with some Yoruba elites and say, oh, we can work together, I say, how? Because Fulanis are Fulanis. That's who they are. They said they are not interested in education. They care Boko Haram. Western education is haram. And you want to force them? Who are you to force them to have the education? Yoruba says they are interested in education. So because our culture is for you to study and go to school, you want to impose your culture on the Fulani people. It's not going to work. So those are the issues that unfortunately some of our people are not facing. As okay, we can live together. How? We cannot live together in peace. It's not possible. Some of these people, they kill. Killing is nothing to them. When we were growing up, the training we had to even kill a during Christmas those days back home, to kill a chicken was a difficult thing for some of them. Meanwhile, you see a 10-year-old Fulani man to behead, they slaughter a woman that was even pregnant. They brought out the baby for everybody to see. It has no meaning to them. And you want to live together with these animals? I don't know how. So for me, the ultimate thing is Nigeria should be let go. Nigeria is a British invention. It's a fraud, and it has to go. It has to go down so that all the groups, all the nations within Nigeria can come up, develop at their own pace, and you have the competition so that we can see who has more brain to develop. Yeah, that's my own personal conviction. If you go around the world, in South Africa, how many Fulani do you see outside? The only places you see them is in the embassies, just to eat money and chop money. That's what they do. Any areas of life, they could not compete. In sports, in academia, anywhere. You don't see them there. But back home in that Nigeria, they're just in charge. They call shots. You go to Port Authority, they are there. You go to an NPC, they are there. These are the people that, okay, even to get to high school, they said the cutoff, they call it cutoff in Nigeria. They will tell you somebody from Imo State should get 200, and somebody from Zamfara should get 2 points. At the end of the day, after 3 years, somebody that got 2 points before he entered the university will now become your boss. And you want the country to move forward? No. I'm off that. Yeah. So
okay. You want to say something?
Our mission is continue to talk to our people to understand how perilous the situation is. Because to get our nation is easy if all our elites, if we're together. There are ways of getting nations without war in the world. There's so many ways of doing it. But the only thing is that we need that unity amongst us. Because all these politicians that are shouting June, I mean, they are going to go for 2023 election now, like Tinubu's and they are not getting anywhere. Even if he gets there, what is he going to do? He can't change Nigeria. He can't.
In that case, let me take you back to what you've just said about the 2023 presidential election. We as Yorubas, do you agree that amongst ourselves there is nothing like unity?
Yeah. Within the Yorubas.
Within Yorubas.
Yeah.
Okay. What makes you think that even if Tinubu gets there, don't forget, remember, he is a Yoruba man. He is part of us.
Yeah.
Our Yoruba no la man sọ pé ọmọ ẹni ò lè burú ká lè fẹ́kùn pàjẹ́. Why? What makes you think that even if he gets there, it's not gonna change anything? Nothing is gonna change.
You have to go into the history of Nigeria. The Fulanis, when it comes to power, they don't joke with power. The Tinubu you are seeing now was not the Tinubu of 1999. Agile, intelligent, and very, very smart. Tinubu is old already. He cannot do anything to change anything now. That's number one. Number two, for you to change Nigeria the way it is now, you know the constitution they are using? They are using 1999 constitution, written by the Fulanis. where all the powers, all the delegates, they're in the north. Tinubu cannot change anything about that constitution except you have 2/3. The kind of democracy they are practicing, Tinubu will not be able to change anything. You need 2/3. Where is he going to get the 2/3? Who is going to give it to him? Even if the Igbos, the Jaws, and the Yorubas, they combine together, they can't get 2/3. So it's a hopeless situation. Anybody supporting Tinubu, they don't understand what is going on there. I'm not supporting Tinubu. I'm not for Tinubu. I'm not for Obi. I'm not for anybody because I know it's not going to work. All they will do is when they get there, well, they will be there. They will steal money again, allow their own families or their friends to steal a lot of money. The same story all over again. So 2023 is not going to save anybody. It's a waste of time. The military, that the Boko Haram military that in the Nigerian army, how are you going to remove them? Do you think Tinubu can remove those people? The Boko Haram terrorists that are in our forest, how are you going to chase them out?
No.
The Fulani that are saying they are born to rule, to dominate everybody in Nigeria, Tinubu will change their mindset? It's not possible. So the only way out of this nonsense, out of these killings, is everybody, every nation in that country called Nigeria must go their own ways. That's the only way. Yeah.
Thank you. And you mentioned something regarding the age, Tinubu's age, that he's too old to be the next president, to be the president of Nigeria. And if I may ask you, sir, who is the leader of Yoruba agitator movement? Ilana Modra, right?
Yeah, Baba, Professor Akintoye.
How old is he?
Baba will be about 84, I think, 85, yeah.
84, 85.
Yeah.
Okay, sir, if you can have hope, your hope, you put your hope in such an elderly man to be a leader of a continent, a country that you're about to establish. So why not Tinubu? What makes you think that Tinubu doesn't have the capacity or is too old to handle our country, our dear country, Nigeria?
You see, Baba Akintoye, Professor Akintoye, he's not saying he wants to become Yoruba president. Baba Akintoye's interest was to galvanize the Yoruba people so that they can be liberated. You need to understand that. Baba is old. He's not interested in becoming anything in Yoruba land. His own is that he has seen a lot and he could see how the Yorubas are suffering. He now felt, we can't continue this. He was a senator. He was one of those that believed so much in Nigerian project before. He has seen it that it's not going to work. Believing in Nigerian project is believing that you have to be slave forever. As far as he's concerned, that these Hausa people or the Fulani people, they're not going to let go the power. So that will establish that's settled about Baba. Tinubu's case is not because of age alone. Somebody could be 90, you could be 100, and they're still fine. They could
That's
still
right.
they could be very sound. And you can see somebody in 20s that are not sound mentally. Tinubu is sick.
Exactly.
Yeah, Tinubu is very sick. There's no doubt about that. He's very sick. Apart from that, I'm not against Tinubu. I'm not against him at all. I don't have any problem with him. But I have problem with anybody thinking that we Yoruba should continue in Nigeria. That's the problem I'm having. Tinubu or anybody, because it's not going to work. The constitution that the Fulani have put in there, how are you going to change it? Because all of them, even Tinubu, as far back as 1999, he said he never believed in one Nigeria. So why is he changing now? Because he was lucky to make so much money from the same Nigerian project. Tinubu didn't believe in one Nigeria. He changed because he had the ambition of becoming a president. So he's not going to change anything. Yeah. You see, we've been going through this for a very long time. Initially, people were saying, okay, let's restructure Nigeria. Let's restructure Nigeria. The power that be, they said, no. Restructure in such a way that every region, they can govern themselves, just like the examples I gave about UK, Canada, and the US. The Fulani said no. Why should it be only then that we say no? The Igbos are ready for restructuring. The Yorubas are ready for restructuring. The Middle Belt, they are ready for restructuring. Why is it that only the Fulanis are saying no? And they are minorities. They are immigrants. They are not even natives of that space they call Nigeria. So it's only them that will say, oh, this is what I want to do. Everybody has to fall in line. We can't continue like that. So it's not that I'm against Tinubu, no, but I'm against 2023 election because it's not going to carry us anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere. It's a waste of time. Yeah, that's my own conviction. The 2023 election, even if Obi wins today, some people are shouting now. I have some colleagues here who are Igbos. They are for Biafra, but because Obi is there now, they say, oh, they're supporting Obi. I say, oh, you're not talking about Biafra again. I used to think you are for Biafra. They said, well, if Obi gets there, maybe they can get Biafra. I say, you're wasting your time. So I'm not for Tinubu. I'm not for Obi. I'm not for Atiku is actually a terrorist. So I don't believe in those ones. Yeah. All the Fulani people, I don't believe.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Another thing I want to contribute to what you said is, let's assume coming 2023 election, Peter Obi wins. As a Yoruba man, as a Yoruba person, how are you going to feel that we let our own person down, which is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Don't you think by putting heads together, then we put our own person there, our own Yoruba person on the to govern house? Don't you think it's at least it's going to be a good way to negotiate in establishing this Yoruba nation of the thing? Don't you think it's going to be of help for the Yorubas to achieve their own country and continent that you're about to form?
True Tinubu.
I'm only asking.
I don't believe that. None of those guys. You see, when they get to power, they turn to different things. Yes, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Some people will say, oh, let's be pragmatic. I have a colleague of mine that say, oh, let's be pragmatic. Let's see if we can talk to Tinubu, and maybe if he gets there, he can negotiate. I said, no way. There are some things you see in human beings that will make you think that, can this one do this? Can this one not do this? Tinubu of 1999, maybe he will be able to do it. But Tinubu has been so rich, has stolen so much money, has taken over Lagos State, that I don't see him coming back and say, oh, I want to let go of all this. It's not possible. Tinubu will never negotiate for anybody. He will only negotiate for himself and his friends. Somebody with a clear mind that will be able to do things like that will not have done what Tinubu has done. The whole of Lagos essentially belongs to Tinubu, you know that. So he will now come out and say, okay, I want to give out all those things I've stolen, all those things I've acquired from Lagos government or Lagos state. No, he's not going to do that. He will not do that. I don't believe he's going to do that. Not only Tinubu, most of those people that have stolen so much, they won't do it. They will not. They won't. It's just not possible. You have stolen so much like that, and you say, oh, you want to give out those things and say, okay, I want to be part of the people, the Yoruba people. He's not going to do that. Never. Yeah, I understand some Yorubas are saying that. Some of the Yorubas are saying, oh, let's have a Yoruba nation. Maybe if we support Tinubu, when Tinubu gets there, I said, no way. If you read the history of human beings, how the human minds are working, no way. Tinubu is not going to do that. He will never. He will actually go to Abuja and be acquiring lands and assets in Abuja. That's what he's going to do. Yeah.
So a quick one, Doctor. Do you think in the next 5 years, do you think the Yoruba Ilano Omodra, the Yoruba nation would be established?
Ilana Omodua is one of the. You see, we have so many people in different names fighting for Yoruba liberation. So Ilana
Okay.
Omodua is just one of them. There are so many of
Okay.
them. Yeah, yeah. So for me, I don't belong to any group, but I support all the groups that are having genuine intention of liberating the Yoruba people. I support any group that has genuine, not people pretending, because we've seen it, some of them, hey, they were fighting for Yoruba nation, they're just using it to make money. They are fighting for Yoruba nation, they are negotiating with the politicians back home. We know some of those groups, but any group that's genuinely fighting for liberation of Yoruba people, I will support them
Okay.
financially
What
or
makes you
anything I
think?
have. Yeah. Eh?
Okay. What makes you think the intentions of this um, the Yoruba nation to the Yorubas are not is do you think their intentions are pure, and do you
A, lo-
think okay,
a lot of them
do you think their
intentions are pure.
intentions are pure, and if by the grace of God um the Yoruba nation is being established, do you think we're not going to face the same problem that we are going through in Nigeria, and especially as we Yorubas?
You see,
Do you
to
think
establish,
it's like the
yeah.
problems that we've been facing
Mm.
in Nigeria? Do you think it's going to end? Do you
Let me
think we're not going to experience the same thing that we've been experiencing being Nigerians?
let me answer the question like this. To establish a nation or a country, you need justice.
Okay.
Any country. In Canada here, we do have a province that they call Quebec. It's one of the provinces in Canada here. You know the language they're speaking in Quebec? French.
No.
They speak French
Okay.
in Quebec. In Quebec, they, their laws are so tight that so many other things that they're allowed to go in other states, other provinces in Canada that will not even go through. They won't allow that in Quebec. They have their own unique immigration system that the Canadian government doesn't do for them. Now, back to the Yoruba people, even if Nigeria, as dissimilar as we are in Nigeria, we have the Hausas, the Jukun, the thieves, and all that. If Nigeria has been allowed to work in such a way that they allow every region to govern its space, they allow every region to manage its resources, we will not be having all this problem. So
Mm.
for us to establish a Yoruba nation, the first thing, and everybody agrees that even within the Yoruba nation, we do have ethnic groups. You have the Ondos, you have the Egbas, you have the Jebus, you have the Kales, you have the Ekitis and all that. The first thing we need to do is we have to recognize all those differences. So what we're going to do is to do what they are doing in this part of the world. A situation where everybody, every ethnic group in the Yoruba nation will manage their resources. Will be in charge of their security. Will be in charge of their education. If you do that, there's going to be peace. But if you say Ibadan man should come and lord it over Ogbomoso man, then you're going to be in Nigeria part 2. It's going to be like Nigeria part 2. So we understand that for us to have peace, we need independent ethnic group, independent city. You see, we've learned a lot from what is going on in this part of the world. Let me tell you, if you visit Calgary or you visit Canada, the airport, the international airport in the city of Calgary is not by the federal government.
Okay.
The roads here, they are not by the federal government. It's so good here that the hospitals are by the cities.
Wow.
Yes. It's by the first hospital I worked here, we had breakdown of our MRI machine. So we had a meeting. We called they call them it's like equivalent of governor here or premier here. We called him and
Okay.
we said, our MRI has broken down and there is urgent that it has to be fixed. The guy just laughed. He said, we don't fix anything for anybody. It's your city. Small city. I was working in a town of about 15,000 people then. The premier said, no, we're not going to fix anything. That your people should raise 90% of the money, then the government will come in and back it. So it's your town that will fix everything. The oil that they have here belongs to the city, not to the government, not to the federal government. Like you're having in Bayelsa State, where all the oils in Bayelsa State belongs to the Fulani people and some Yoruba people. It doesn't work like that anywhere in the world. Do you think the oil in Texas belongs to the US government? No. It belongs to Texas. The resources in California State belongs to California. So those are the ways countries are governed. So if you have, like if you're from your state now, you have Ibadan, that's a city, big population, and you have those people from Oyo Ogbomoso, small population. Forever, Ibadan will be dominating them if you want to practice Nigeria Part 2. So the way you should do it is the Ogbomoso should be a town with its own mayor, its own development, its own security. That's the way it's going to be done in the new Yoruba nation. We're not going to allow this nonsense they're doing in Nigeria where they will say a Kanuri man should come and be commissioner of police in Ondo State. Somebody who doesn't speak your language, somebody who doesn't know the terrain. That's fake. You understand me? That's fake. So the Yoruba nation that we are expecting is going to be totally different from what they are doing in Nigeria now. Totally different, yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for that beautiful insight. That was really awesome, Doctor. And then my last question, you said the Yoruba nation that you're looking at is going to be totally different. What why do you use that word different, and what will make it different to
because we're going to have a constitution.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in the constitution?
We're going to have a very good constitution. We're going to see, we've got some things that there are people are doing about the constitution. It's going to, because we've been all over the world and we see what is working, we don't need to reinvent the wheels. Human beings, they're the same. The wants, the desire, and everything is the same all over the world. All you need is just to be fair to them. Justice, everybody will be happy. If you have a Yoruba nation where you have, for you to become a councillor or to become a governor, your people will genuinely vote for you. And even when you are going there, there's no money for you. Why do you think people, it's only in Nigeria that you see politicians are richer than the business people? You go and become a governor in 4 years, you're a billionaire. Where do you get that here? I have a colleague here who was appointed as a minister here that resigned. After 4 months, he said it's affecting his practice. Can you hear me? A colleague of mine was appointed as a minister here. After 4 months, he resigned as a minister for health.
He's a Canadian.
He's a Canadian. He's a Canadian. He's a Canadian. He's a white guy.
Oh, okay.
He said it's affecting his business because there's no money to be stolen. Whereas back home, you are there as a governor. In 4 years, you're a billionaire. That's why people are so desperate to go there. So what you're going to put that checks in place in Yoruba nation in such a way that the people representing us in the parliament, your salary is going to be like a salary of a school principal. So why would you be killing people to go in there? There will not be any need for you killing people to go in there. If you know if you're going to be a senator in Yoruba land, your salary is going to be a salary of a school principal. You won't go in there. There's going to be genuine people that will be coming. And the law should be very strict. Anybody, anyone for that matter, even if you're a governor, if you have any infraction, commit any crime, you'll be punished. Let me tell you something here. You see, that country, Nigeria, is something else. Why do you think a lot of Nigerians, they come over here, they obey the rules, obey the laws? Over here, nobody will force you to pay tax. is your responsibility to pay tax. You must file your tax every year. Nobody's going to force you. If for any reason maybe you were traveling and you have a traffic infraction, maybe you were speeding at 140 kilometers in a place you are supposed to be less than 120, and you got a ticket, nobody will tell you to pay. Even if you are Trudeau, the prime minister, you have to pay. If you don't, next election, you are not winning. So it's about laws and implementing the laws to the letter, not about a big man somewhere and say, oh, do you know who I am? I'm this that they are doing in Nigeria. When you are having a country that things are working like that, there won't be peace in that kind of a society. No way. So what we think Yoruba people are capable of, because I know Yoruba people are smart people, they're intelligent people, they're everywhere, they know what is normal. Yeah, and we've done this before. Awolowo did this one for us before. In the 50s, when we were in regions, the best part of Nigeria were in Yoruba land. The best education system were in Yoruba land. The infrastructure that he put in place, no other people can do that. They were able to match it in the other part of Nigeria. So it's not something that is new to us. So we've been doing this before. So the military, they hijacked it from us, and that's why we continue to progressively going backward. And we've been doing that for decades now. So for me, that's the only hope for the Yoruba youth that are coming. It's the only hope for them. Anybody talking about 2023, I say, oh, these guys are still stupid like the way I was. 2023 is not going to deliver anything to anybody. Nothing. 2023 is reconfirming that you are a slave to the Fulanis in Nigeria. Anybody, any Southerner, not even Yorubas alone, Igbo man, Ijo man, Ishekiri man, woman or man, that is thinking of 2020 is you are reaffirming that you are a slave in Nigeria and you want the Fulanis to continue to oppress you. See the killings in Southeast. What has those people done, those Igbos? They moved the whole military might. They were killing them in Southeast. The Boko Harams in Borno, they didn't touch them. They were turbaning the Fulani terrorist. And they said he's wanted. Nobody could arrest him. Is that the country you want to live on forever? No. We should not be thinking like that. The way forward is, let's get our nation. Yoruba people, I don't think they are less than 50, 60 million. How much is the population of Ghana? Benin Republic. If you look at African countries, the best countries in Africa with the highest human development indices are the countries like Botswana, Mauritius, and other small countries. You don't see Nigeria there. So why do you want to continue that kind of a mess?
All right. As we are running out of time now, but before we round up, please, I want you to tell us, like you mentioned something. You said you mentioned something about corruption.
Yeah.
You know, we all know that. Okay, we agree that our country is corrupt. It's corrupt. So, do you think for us to form another continent, another country as Yoruba nation, is it going to be easy for people to adopt the constitution, or to be implemented on that when it comes to Yoruba nation?
It's very easy. Very easy. You see, our peoples are not criminals. The society turned them to become criminals. I'm telling you
said
this.
Our people are not criminals, but the country itself, which is Nigeria, make them to be a criminal. So do you think forming those same Yorubas, the three Yorubas, are you saying that Yorubas are not corrupt at all? Are you saying that if eventually the Yoruba nation is being formed, we won't experience corruption?
There's corruption everywhere. Yes, let me answer that. There's corruption everywhere in the world. There's no way you can stop corruption completely any country in the world. Yorubas are corrupt. There's no doubt about that. Human beings are inherently corrupt. All you need to do is to put the system in place that can stop the corruption. Nigeria government intentionally refused to put the system in place. There's no way you can stop corruption. Human beings are corrupt. In this part of the world, you see corrupt people. But when they are caught, they go to jail. There's no negotiation about it. That's the difference between the normal world and where we are coming from. That space they call Nigeria. So we're not going to stop corruption. Nobody. We can reduce it. And there are very good systems in place that you can use to reduce corruption. There are a lot of technology to reduce corruption in this part of the world. I don't know the last time I saw cash. I can tell you conveniently, the last time I handled maybe $1 or $2, maybe about 6 months ago. I don't see cash. I use cards. So when you go to immigration, for example, you want to get a passport and you fill online and you use your card, who is going to be corrupt there? Nobody. If you want to go through custom, you imported goods and automatically you see the weighing machine, they weigh your things and you pay e-transfer. Where is going to have the corruption? So there are ways you can reduce corruption. So you cannot completely stop corruption. It's not possible. And you're going to have laws in place. You see, I'm talking of the law because I'm in a country of laws. I want to tell you, if I go to the bank now and I say I want $10,000, if I go to the banks now and I say I want $10,000, I will not even go there because I know it's not going to be available. They say, what do you want to do with $10,000 cash? They don't have it for you. Come back tomorrow, come back next week. In Canada, you won't get it. If for any reason you put a cash amount somewhere, the system will tell you, where do you get the money? Where's the money coming from? I'm going to tell you one of my friends. He's an Igbo guy. You know, the Igbo people, they like building houses in their villages. So he's a doctor here. He was sending money home through the Western Union and all that, and building mansion in his village. One day he went there, they said, you're under investigation by the tax man. You send this amount of money home in the past 1 year. How much tax have you paid? That is the system. They monitor you, whatever you are doing. He was able to explain that. Yeah. So they monitor. It's not like in Nigeria where you just take 100 billion, you transfer billion here. It doesn't work like that here. And I can tell you 100% confidently, there's nobody who is rich here that you don't know the source of his money. Do you know the source of money of people back home apart from politics? There's nobody who is rich here that you don't know the source of his money. If you're talking of Bill Gates or any of those Elon Musk, you know how they made their money. If they are doctors, you know how they made their money because the money you've been paid since you started practicing in Canada here, they can pull it out and they say, this is how much you've been paid. This is how much you have paid to the revenue services. Not like in Nigeria that you can just, because your brother is a governor today, you become a billionaire. You start buying estates, houses all over the places, and nobody will query you. So that's what I mean by Yoruba land. We're going to put laws in place. We're not going to stop corruption. Nobody's going to stop corruption. It's not possible. But we can reduce it. And you're going to know that if you fall short of the law, you go into jail, you go into prison. That's all you need to make a society work. And people will be afraid. Yeah, it's just putting the law, and the laws, they have to be implemented to the letter. If you're a governor, if you're retired, there are so many presidents all over the world that are in prison. You know that. Yeah. So if you fall short of the law, you will be punished. Not that you know who I am because you are now Obasanjo. That you spent about billions on roads, on electricity, nothing happened, and nobody could query you. A society will not grow. There won't be peace in that kind of a society when the younger people are not getting jobs. They're into Yahoo all over the places. You think most of those guys are into Yahoo are interested in it? No, they're not. It's because the society could not provide jobs for them. Yeah, they turn people to criminals in Nigeria. I can tell you that. That society will make people become criminals. Now, we can't continue to live like that. That's my own personal opinion. We need to debunk, we need to scatter Nigeria into units, bit by bit. When you scatter Nigeria, the Tiv people can develop at their own pace, the Yorubas will develop at their own pace, the Igbos will develop, the Jaws and all that. That's when you have competition. In Europe, you don't have this useless population. They say, oh, we are big. What's the population of Croatia? Sweden, Norway, Finland. These are countries of 5-6 million, and they're still giving aid to Nigeria of about 200 million population. Although I don't believe in that population. I think it's still 419. Yeah. So we can't continue like that. We need to break Nigeria apart. And if we think later on everybody has developed enough and we think we want to come together, why not? It happened in Western Germany. East and Western Germany, they separated and they came back again. You want to come back, but we need to go on our separate ways for now. Let's develop. Let's provide future for our children and children yet unborn, so that the society people will be respected, not carrying Nigerian passport everywhere. You are detained, you are arrested. You see how many times those days I used to go, when I went to London, I see some Nigerians, I get angry with immigration then, I never knew. They will arrest, they'll keep some Nigerians somewhere for no reason. I would say, why are you keeping those guys there? They say, what's your business about it? I said, well, they have the correct visa. I used to fight for Nigerians.
Oh.
It was later I now discovered, no, this is a lost cause. There's no point. It's not going to work. It will never work. Yeah, it's not going to work. It will not work. I'm sure you experienced that. If you are still carrying a Nigerian passport, some places you go where other people are just going without any problem, they just pull you back and said, explain yourself.
I haven't experienced that before.
Oh,
anyways.
You are lucky. You are very lucky. A lot of us, we have experienced that a lot before we stop using that useless passport. Yeah.
I understand you. Okay. We'll bring to this discussion to an end. And before we go, I'd like you to at least send your word of courage to our viewers out there as Yorubas.
Yeah, this encouragement is to all the oppressed people in Nigeria. I'm just telling you that it's difficult now, but at the end of the day, we're going to see the light. Because the way things are going in that space called Nigeria is non-human. The people are oppressed, they are suppressed, they've destroyed them, they've killed so many people there intentionally. And the hope and the prayer is that one day and very soon, the whole nations in Nigeria will be liberated. The Yorubas will be liberated, the Igbos will be liberated, the Jaws, the Tiv people, the Middle Beta people will be liberated from the grips of the Fulanis. That's my prayer. And it's going to happen very soon. Because Buhari, fortunately and unfortunately, he has exposed us now. He opened our eyes. Because we didn't know before until Buhari came in power. So my hope is that all the indigenous people of Nigeria one day, very soon, will be liberated from this nonsense. So that we can build future for our children and children.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ha.
All right,
we had a very good, nice deliberation, and I hope to invite you and then to host you some other time.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And greetings to our people there.
Yes, I will pass your greetings on to our people. Okay, thank you for watching us live interview on Klebner TV viewers. Don't forget to subscribe on Klebner TV, like, share, and comment. My name remains Olamide Fawayimi, and I hope to see you some other time. Bye.
Okay. Thank you. Bye. Yeah.